back to another tutorial of Salesforce Makes Sense. This is Himanshu and we are continuing and very close to covering and closing our Lightning Web Components Masterclass. It's been a good long journey of about 90 videos. Some of the good stuff is still remaining. I'll talk about it after I complete the primary curriculum. But in the last tutorial, we talked about how do you embed or use Lightning Web Components as custom tabs. In this tutorial, I'll talk about another important topic, which is an essential question in interviews, and a lot of people have actually messaged me asking, what should be the approach, right? So this is something we should understand. Why? Because a lot of our projects are currently built using Aura components. For those of you who are directly seeing LWC components, still just take a look at this particular topic, because the company you are part of, the project that you're working on, might have Aura components written, right? So you might have to migrate them, because let's say if tomorrow Salesforce says that we are ending the support for Aura components and only LWC is the way to go forward, you have to migrate everything from Aura to LWC. Just like we are migrating workflows and process builders into flows, you might have to do that sooner or later, right? But again, keep in mind that if you're creating a fresh new component, always go with LWC. Do not create Aura components unless there is a use case that supports only Aura. Okay, great. So the question here, and this is going to be more of a theoretical topic to discuss, just bullet points so that you understand what should be your approach when you are doing it, and you can even use this for your interview question answers, right? So how do I migrate Aura component to LWC? So what is the guideline or very high level idea around it? So you will have an Aura component sitting in your Salesforce system. It is not going to be a line by line migration. It is not like Aura attribute, make it JS label. You cannot do a line by line migration because the syntax, the content, and the way the component is built is different. These are two different things, right? So what you have to do is you have to evaluate the design specifications of your current component. Like as in, you have to look at the component as a whole. What does it really do? What are the modules? Is it using child components? What is the layout structure? And try to create a stub or a better stub or a similar stub in LWC. When I say stub, I mean it's more like a blueprint or more like a model, right? You'll not write the actual code yet. You'll just, create a model. Okay, I have these 4 child components inside this one parent, and I have 12 fields that are shown here, and there are 2 events that are being called. One of them is application, one of them is component, and I'm doing some error handling here. So you've noted all of that down. And now with your knowledge of LWC, you'll try to create a plan around how you will develop it in LWC. Okay. Once the UI look is ready, as in the look and feel is ready, you will start binding your LWC with the database. And this is where you will start using your wire, your imperative methods to make the component dynamic and reactive, right? So it's essentially 3 or 4 things. You have to set up the UI first. Your stub will look good, agreed with business. Now you'll bind it with the database. When you bind it with the database, whatever you need to load as part of your DOM load, you get it in connected callback. Whatever you need to load behind the scenes, but in the beginning, you load it via wire. You have any button clicks, you call imperative apex, right? And if you have events, you use your custom events here. All right. So that's the whole idea. Now, once your UI look is ready, bind it with the database with wire and imperative methods to make the component dynamic and reactive. For icons, you need to switch to whatever is LWC friendly SVGs, right? We discussed SVGs. There are utility, action, and standard icons. Whatever is available on LWC side, go ahead and use it. All right. You can define target configs based on where the Aura component is used. Now, Aura component also has some target defined, right? So the same way you'll have to use your target configs in LWC as to where do I need to use it? Like, is it on a record page? Is it on an app page? Is it, let's say on a custom tab or a Experience Cloud portal page? You have to define your target config so that the same component that you have built is also available later. All right. And for your LWC events, like, your Aura events, you might have to migrate your events by creating a new event on LWC and not having actually your application and component events, but having your events that you are familiar with the LWC side. So if you have to do the child to parent communication, you know how to do it. If you have to do from parent to child, you know how to do it. And if you need to do a pub sub model, you know how to do it. If you have to dispatch an event from a child to a grandparent, you also know how to do that, right? But you have to follow the LWC events. And I think that's all, right? Once you have the UI ready and it is aligned with business requirements, you are binding your stuff with the database, create, read, update, delete, wire, connected callback. And finally, defining the target configs that this component should be shown in these three places. And lastly, putting your events in the right way so that the data is passed to the right component at the right time. That should suffice, right? So it's not going to be a line by line migration, but this is the approach you can take on a very high level whenever you are migrating Aura to LWC. Great. All right. Perfect. I think I wanted to just cover that bit, and I hope this was helpful. If this was helpful, just put a comment that migration makes sense, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.